MLS fans of all around the world, my name is Oscar Moneyball, and we're back, baby. It's been several weeks since I recorded one of these videos, match day prediction for the MLS, and just been out camping, just been enjoying the Euro Cups, been enjoying watching the Copa America, and kind of giving myself into the summer along with my wife and my baby. But we're back, right? We have 14 matches for this upcoming weekend, and there's been a lot of changes, right? There's been some teams that have been able to pick up the slack. There's been other teams that, without some of their national players, they've just been still in limbo, or just struggling to get by. But we got 14 matches to go over. As you guys know, these videos tend to get pretty lengthy, so please stick around until the end, as we'll be going over the goals, win probabilities, expected points, and both teams to score for each one of these matches. There we go, everyone. So the first match is CF Montreal hosting Atlanta United. Expected goals for Montreal is 1.4, 1.3 for Atlanta United. Montreal does have the edge to win this game with 40% versus 34% from Atlanta United. Expected points is 1.5 for Montreal and 1.1 for Atlanta United. Seems to be like it'll be an even game with both teams creating enough XG to kind of counter each other. However, Montreal should be having a huge edge and advantage. The simulator here is letting us know that this looks to be a both teams to score with 55%. Not as high as you would want it to be for you to make a great decision. So I'm sure the odds on this are going to be paying pretty well. However, you can also get a 1-0 or a 2-1 for Montreal, a 2-0. Those are some of the score lines that are popping up and been being a little bit more popular in my match simulator. Moving on to match number 2, we have DC United hosting Nashville. Expected goals for DC United, 1.9, 1.1 for Nashville. DC United are the huge favorites to win this. 53% for DC United to win this match, 23% for Nashville. Expected points, 1.5 for DC United, 1.0 for Nashville, letting us know again that the home squad will have a little bit more of an edge in their creation of high XG chances. Meanwhile, Nashville will struggle, and this could be another 2-0, 1-1, 2-1 game, even 3-0, 3-1 for DC United. Both teams to score is also 56% for this one. Again, probably will be paying pretty good. With some upsets there. Match number 3, we have the unstoppable FC Cincinnati. If you've watched some of our videos since I think we started this match day 7, match day 10, somewhere around there, even though FC Cincinnati has been struggling and had a really tough start to their season, I was very observant into what Luciano Acosta was doing and how he was performing. He was performing at his MVP level and basically carrying the weight until everybody adjusted to the new season, to the new strategy without some of the key players that they lost during the offseason. So FC Cincinnati is hosting Charlotte FC. Expected goals for FC Cincinnati is 1.3, 0.8 for Charlotte FC. Win probability here is slightly lower than the first 2 games, with FC Cincinnati being the favorite, 48% versus 23% for Charlotte. Expected points tells us that FC Cincinnati will be creating a lot of great high quality XG opportunities for them to get on the scoreboard. However, we know that Charlotte is a team that can defend pretty well. They are pretty good at a low block, and it could make it a little bit difficult for Cincinnati to take this game with clear authority. The both teams to score is 38%, really low compared to the first 2 matches. Move on to, whoa, this skipped. skipped a lot. Match number 4, we got New England Revolution hosting Orlando City. The past couple of games have kind of shown us a side of New England Revolution prior to their a good little streak that they had. They've been sort of on a downwards trend, in my opinion, and Orlando City has been able to kind of pick up some of the slack that they've been dealing with in the beginning of the season. Expected goals for this: 1.2 for New England, 1.8 for Orlando City. Orlando City are the favorites to win, 49% versus 26% for New England. Expected points shows us a pretty even match, almost even. 1.1 for New England Revolution with expected points, and 1.4 expected points out of the 3 points possible for Orlando City, letting us know again that either there will be not as many high XG chances created by both teams are going to kind of eliminate each other out, and New England Revolution would probably look into receiving a lot of goals. The both teams to score is 56%. Pretty good odds there for both teams to score, as New England at home, they're not shy at getting on the scoreboard, and Orlando City have just been on fire lately with scoring a pretty decent amount of goals per game. So both teams to score is not a bad bet there. Maybe a double chance for Orlando. Match number 5 is Toronto FC hosting Philadelphia Union. Philadelphia Union squad that when playing away, are looking extremely bad. They've conceded a lot of goals. I think in their past, if I remember correctly, 3 away games, they've conceded 4 goals, and their XG differential in each one of those games have been pretty significant, where they're on the negative. So, I mean, but there's not much to say either about Toronto. Toronto is giving us glimpses of what they were a little bit last season, and haven't really been getting the results that you would want them to be getting. Expected goals for this one is 1.9 for Toronto, 2.2 expected goals for Philadelphia Union. The Union are the favorites to win. That kind of lets you know how bad things are with Toronto's home form. 41% win probability for Philadelphia Union, 33% win probability for Toronto. Expected points is even, 1.3 for both squads. Most likely will be a pretty even game. As you can see, the expected goals are pretty even themselves. Both teams to score here is 68%, which lets us know that we will see some goals, and I'm inclined to believe that. However, if I was managing the Philadelphia Union and our away form, our pass-through away matches have not been that great, I would perhaps prioritize defending and not conceding, and then seeing where the game goes. If there's any opportunity for me to score, that's sort of where I see the expected points being so low, where it just becomes like a game that's fought in the midfield, with both teams having mid to low blocks and trying to eliminate each other that way. Match number 6, Austin FC versus Seattle Sounders. Seattle Sounders have been in really good form, I think, in the last couple of weeks of June and this July, couple weeks in July. Austin FC, they lost against Sporting Kansas City away. They lost against San Jose Earthquakes away. I know that was several weeks ago, but I mean, this Austin FC team is not a team that, like I mentioned in a couple of videos, should have been in the top spots for the Western Conference. Sort of lets you know how bad things are in general for a lot of the teams that are playing this season. Seattle Sounders are the favorites to win, and their expected goals are 1.6 versus 1.4 for Austin FC. As I mentioned, Seattle are the favorites to win with 42% win probability, 34% win probability for Austin FC. Not sure if I said that right, but okay, Seattle Sounders, 42% win probability, Austin FC, 34% win probability. Expected points, however, lets us know that Austin FC will be receiving 1.5 out of the 3 points possible. Meanwhile, Seattle Sounders will be receiving 1.1 out of the 3 points possible. Austin FC there do have an edge, and I can see them creating higher quality chances with the Seattle Sounders going into the Texas heat in the middle of summer. That could play a big part into how this game goes. Both teams to score is at a 58%. Seattle Sounders, I believe, has been scoring between 1 to 2 goals per match in the last several weeks. Meanwhile, Austin FC have just been up and down lately, so I can see this game being both teams to score. It would be really difficult for Austin FC to keep a clean sheet versus Seattle Sounders. And we move on to the next match. Match number 7, Chicago FC versus New York City FC. We have a Chicago squad that just lost against the San Jose Earthquakes. I was there watching the game with my family on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and Chicago did not look that bad. They did create some chances, some high quality chances, even though the expected goal differential wasn't the best for them in that game. They're back in their hometown playing against a team that has been sort of spiraling down and having a really bad couple of weeks. New York City FC they do have the edge there with 1.2 expected goals versus Chicago's 1.1. 38% win probability for New York and 34% for Chicago. Expected points is another game that's even. 1.3 expected points out of the 3 points possible for both squads. Will be potentially a boring game, but there's also the surprise, right? There's also the surprise that this could be a really entertaining game. And sometimes the simulator is just wrong. That's just the way soccer is sometimes. Both teams to score is 48% on this one. Again, this could be a game that just surprises everyone. I don't think a lot of people will be watching this. I mean, if you got other games going on the slate that are much better and you're neutral, don't really care about these teams, man, heck, even if I was a Chicago FC fan, I think there's other games I would prefer watching this weekend. Match number 8, FC Dallas hosting LA Galaxy. Expected goals for this one, FC Dallas 1.4 versus 2.0 for LA Galaxy. Win probability for LA Galaxy is 50% and 20% for FC Dallas. LA Galaxy are the favorites. Expected points for FC Dallas 1.0 out of the 3 points possible. And LA Galaxy is 1.6 expected points out of the 3 points possible, letting us know that LA Galaxy will be creating higher quality chances compared to FC Dallas. Now, do they convert them? That's the whole point of the game, right? You convert, you score, you potentially win the game, you have a higher chance of winning the game. Both teams to score on this one is 63%. They are playing in that Texas heat. However, LA is we're all struggling with a heat wave right now, especially in California. So I'm sure that LA Galaxy, plus they're incentivized to keep their momentum going. They just lost against LAFC about a week and a half ago, 4th of July. But prior to that, they've just been on fire. They've been on fire. And I think they just won versus Minnesota last week. This team is remarkable what they're doing. I don't think FC Dallas has the depth or the squad to compete 1v1 versus LA Galaxy at the moment. So this makes sense to me. Match number 9, Houston Dynamo versus Minnesota United. This can go both ways, right? We've had a Minnesota United that I think they've consistently been scoring goals, whether they're home or away. And we have a Houston Dynamo squad that at home seem to be pretty solid. You know, they could get a tie, they can pretty much win a game, and they'll lose a game every once in a while. Will it be this game? Who knows? The expected goals for this game is 1.7 for Houston Dynamo, 1.2 for Minnesota United. Houston Dynamo are the favorites to win, 49% versus 26% versus for Minnesota. I'm sorry. Expected points lets us know that Houston Dynamo are expected to receive 1.7 points out of the 3 points possible. Meanwhile, Minnesota receives 1 point out of the 3 points possible, with both teams to score is at 55%. I don't know about both teams to score, although I mean there has to be a team that can neutralize Minnesota United. They even scored against LA Galaxy, and I mean I just don't know what to think. What I do know is that our simulator is letting us know that Houston Dynamo will be creating higher quality XG chances. Again, do they convert them? Who knows? Their expected goal differential will be higher than Minnesota's. That's what we can expect. So Houston Dynamo could be on the offensive, but Minnesota is just a team that, again, you just, I mean, they're not good, they're not great, but they can score. They have an ability to counter. They can create plays from open, score goals from open play. You just don't disregard this team. Match number 10 is St. Louis City versus Vancouver Whitecaps. The previous time that these teams faced each other was several weeks ago. They played at Vancouver and they gave us a spectacular game, 4-3 in favor for Vancouver. In this match, we don't expect to see a lot of goals. St. Louis City looked, the last game I saw was them at home versus the Earthquakes, and yeah, they were playing the Earthquakes, so you were expected to see this team come out and dominate, and they did that. They created a lot of chances, high quality chances. They scored goals. They didn't stop attacking, and that's what I would like to see. Now, can you do that against Vancouver Whitecaps? You would want to. You would want to do that, but Vancouver Whitecaps is no San Jose Earthquakes. Vancouver Whitecaps does have the squad and the ability, the strategy, the tactics to do better than what the Earthquakes did. With that being said, expected goals is even 1.1 for both squads. The win probability is fairly close, with Vancouver having a slight edge over St. Louis City, 37% versus 34% for St. Louis City. Expected points lets us know that Vancouver Whitecaps will have a higher XG differential in comparison to St. Louis City. They will be receiving 1.5 expected points out of the 3 points possible, and 1.2 expected points out of the 3 points possible will go to St. Louis City. Pretty close game there, and every result that the simulator gives us. Both teams to score, however, looks very low, with 44% being the probability for that. Colorado Rapids, match 11 versus New York Red Bulls. Colorado Rapids at home tend to have a lot of confidence. They have a strategy that's working for them. They can score goals. They can hold a result. They played against some top teams and attempted to compete. In some, they got a positive result. In others, they gave us a great result, a great match, a great fight, a spectacle. In others, they've just lost the game, and that's great. You want to see a team play like this without fear and being relentless on the attack. So we have a New York Red Bulls team that can also do that. They can also attack, they can defend, they can play the transition games from offense to defense and defense to offense very, very well. And this should be an interesting game. Expected goals for Colorado Rapids, 1.9 versus 1.3 for New York Red Bulls. Win probability is in favor. Big difference in the probabilities here. 50% for Colorado Rapids, as they are the favorites to win. New York Red Bulls, 26%. The expected points in this match will be 1.9 points out of the 3 points possible for Colorado Rapids and 0.9 points out of the 3 points possible for the Red Bulls, letting us know that Colorado Rapids should be creating higher quality chances and having a higher XG differential than what the New York Red Bulls can do in this match. Excuse me. Both teams to score 61%. Yeah, I mean, I think I could see both teams to score in this one. Now, I wouldn't put any money on it, but I would keep an eye on it because New York Red Bulls, like again, I said, they are relentless. And Colorado Rapids at home, they do everything that they can to score. So if they're able to score, I'm sure New York Red Bulls has enough to respond to that. And yeah, we move on to the last couple of games here. Match 12, Portland Timbers versus Real Salt Lake. Expected goals, 1.9 for Portland, 2.0 for Real Salt Lake. Win probability is 40% for Real Salt Lake, and Portland is 36% win probability. Expected points on this one, 1.4 out of the 3 points possible for Portland, 1.3 out of the 3 points possible for RSL. Both teams to score high 70%. This is one of the games, along with the LAFC match versus Columbus Crew, that you should be watching. You should be watching these two games or keeping them on both screens. Have your iPhone if you have Apple TV, and then load up Apple TV on your TV and watch both of them at the same time. What do I think about this match? What do I think about the results that our simulator gave us? I think I can see both teams to score for sure. We have RSL they're just on fire. They're a great team. Diego Luna is still in the squad. He didn't receive that call up for the Olympics squad, and I feel like that puts a chip on his shoulder. He's sort of been speaking like it is affecting him in some sort of way because he's having a great season. Portland Timbers, Jonathan Rodriguez, and that front three are just starting to click. There were a slow start in the beginning of the season, but they're now just boom, 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 scoring, getting the results that they need. And beautiful weather in this Portland summer. RSL, they're used to the heat, so they're going to be extremely comfortable. It's going to be beautiful weather to play some soccer. I'm excited and really, really excited to watch this game. Now, the expected points are very, very close to each other. Even though RSL does have the slight edge on the goals and win probability, I tend to lean more on the expected points, as the expected points lets me know of the XG, high XG opportunities that they're able to create and the differential between both. So this could be a game where maybe it could RSL scores and Portland scores, then RSL scores, and then Portland is trying to tie the game. It's 2-1, and Portland's going all in trying to get the tie. That's how you would see the XG for Portland be really high and give them the expected points that we're talking about here. I could see this game going over 2.5 goals easily. And if it doesn't, it'll be a very disappointing game. The match 13 is LAFC versus Columbus Crew. We have LAFC expected goals 2.0 versus Columbus Crew 1.2. The win probability is in favor for LAFC, 55% versus 21% for Columbus Crew. Expected points, 1.7 out of the 3 points possible for LAFC. 0.7 out of the 3 points possible for Columbus Crew. 58% win probability for both teams to score. This could be a 2-0 game for LAFC. This could be a 3-0, 2-1, 1-1 game. I would have LAFC as a double chance, regardless of how good Columbus Crew has been since they lost to Conca Champions. They've gotten into rhythm. They're playing really good soccer. They're scoring goals. They're the team that we know they're performing the way that we know they can perform, if not slightly better now that they don't have that stress of the extra competitions. The managers are two managers that play chess and not checkers. They're very advanced in their tactics and their strategy and their lineups, and everything they're doing has a purpose. All eyes will be on this match as you have two managers that are maybe in the conversation for the U.S. men's national team potential manager, where Wilfred Nancy has been doing a really good job with Columbus Crew. Steve Cherundolo has just done an amazing job with LAFC since he's been in charge. I'm happy. I'm going to be really excited to watch this game. Hopefully LAFC wins, as they have been on fire, and this upwards trend and their performances, XG, goals, points, expected points has just been a skyrocket, and I don't see this diffusing. They made their point on July 4th versus LA Galaxy. There's not enough good things for me to say for this team that I'm a huge fan of their style and their players. Now, next game is match 14, the last game of the MLS Matchday 26 lineup. It's my home team, the team I support, San Jose Earthquakes, hosting Sporting Kansas City. Expected goals for this one, 1.6 for San Jose Earthquakes, 1.5 for Sporting Kansas City. Win probability is in favor for San Jose Earthquakes, 41% versus 35% for Sporting Kansas City. Expected points here, 1.4 out of the 3 points possible do go to San Jose Earthquakes, and 0.6 out of the 3 points possible go to Sporting Kansas City. Both teams to score is at 59%. That'll be a match I will be attending in person. I would gonna be analyzing this game live. How do I feel about this? I feel hopeful. I feel happy because I'm going to expect a really close game. Not as close as you may think it is because of the expected points. I'm going to expect an Earthquakes squad that is a little bit more on the offense and creating better chances than what Sporting Kansas City can do. We did see San Jose Earthquakes change up their formation into a 5-2-3, and that seemed to help them out a lot because now you have your DP player, Carlos Grueso, playing in a more natural position with the double pivot with Jackson Jewell, which then gives Jackson Jewell the freedom to not be the pivot and sort of dance around and run and chase and, be slow if he wants to. There's not a lot of responsibility on his shoulders now, so I feel like he's a little bit more free. He plays on the flanks. He's aggressive. He's supporting the team on the build-up, and meanwhile you just have Carlos Grueso just stay in his natural position. Before, when Luchi Gonzalez was there, they were both playing the double pivot, but the responsibilities that he gave them were pretty much identical, so they were in each other's way a lot, and that did not help them progress because they had more people behind the ball than they did in front of the ball, which led to really bad transitions into the offense where Pellegrino, Ibobisi, and Cristian Espinosa were the only three players attacking. Now, I am getting a little bit more in depth here with my conversation about this game. Earthquakes, double chance. I'd say both teams to score on this one, with the Earthquakes winning 2-1, 3-1, somewhere along those lines. It would be really boring to have this be a 1-0 game or even a 1-1 game. That would be disappointing, to say the least. But there you have it, everyone. That was my match day predictions for match day 26 in the MLS season. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything that goes against what you think or believe, or if you have your own simulator, let us know down below. Let us also know in the comments what kind of bets you'll be placing, as this type of content is sort of tailored to that demographic, but not really. It's more about analyzing the sport with data analytics and a background of information that could be useful for the viewers, which is why I create this content. Enjoy your weekend, hug your loved ones, drink some water, take a shot for me, shot of tequila preferably, and enjoy the weekend. See ya.